G'day guys, it's John from theproductivegarden.com and I'm here with another update from the balcony. Now there's been a few little things happen this week, so I'll show you quickly the things that have happened, and then I'm just going to go through a few of the things that I've found which might be like little tips to benefit people who are also considering growing some food in containers. So let's have a look at what's gone on this week. Okay, so like I said, I'll go through the things that have happened this week. So, I guess nothing particularly has happened with the herbs, but they're going pretty well. The cherry tomatoes, we've got one ripening up there, which if I clear some leaves away, there you go. So you got one ripening up there. That's probably another day or two could probably benefit that. And we've got one ripening up here, and another one over here ripening up as well. So that's going pretty well. Beans, we've got beans that we can eat. Check that out. So just a small handful on these bush beans, but if I start harvesting these now, then theoretically with the beans they should start producing more, and that's what happens with climbing beans. If you keep picking them, they just keep producing more and more. So that's what I'll be doing, is picking those beans and having them probably pick them and take them to lunch tomorrow. And likewise with this tomato. Now this tomato, it's got one there, it's got another one that seems to be growing up here, so that's pretty slow producing. I mean, maybe it's just this plant, not necessarily that variety, but yeah, so, and maybe it's the way this pot's received water as well, because I will also point out that the basil in this pot hasn't done quite as well. We've got this one here that's struggling. The other basil has pretty much died. It's just a couple of sticks in the ground now, whereas the basil in the cherry tomatoes has done quite well. It's bushed up a fair bit. There's a fair bit there, so it's actually done pretty well. And you can see there's two plants there, but even taking into account that there's two plants, it's done a whole lot better than this tomato. So yeah, that's interesting to note. We seem to have a bug. It's done some eating on here. I found a grasshopper on this plant. This is the blueberry plant. So you can see there that branch has been eaten now, and it's bent over a bit. Picked him off and chucked him to the chooks. They made short work of him. But yeah, also seemed to be eating just like the skin off the blueberries as well. So that's a bit of a disappointment. But yeah, it's just one of those things to keep an eye on bugs in your plants. The glangle is doing quite well. It's 4 inches high now, and the ginger has come out of the ground as well. It's just a bit of grass that's in there, but there's a ginger there. It's popped its head out of the ground, so that's pretty good. What else has happened? Got the lettuce there. That's doing pretty well. That's the lettuce that was struggling. It's really taken off now, and the red lettuce that was struggling with it, that's not doing too badly at all. And this is the lettuce that's done pretty well. So everything else is going on as you would expect it to. And yeah, everything's just plodding along as you would expect it to. The eggplants, they seem to be coming on a bit. They're producing some more leaves. The capsicums are perking up. The lime tree is doing what it should. Yeah, so like I said, I was just going to go through some of the things I've found that could be of benefit to people who are thinking of doing a potted vegetable garden, growing their own food in pots in a small area. One of the things that I have found will be of good benefit starts with the soil. That's the start of growing any plant. So I used a fairly cheap soil, and even though I've gotten reasonable results from it, I think I could have gotten much better results if I'd have used a better soil. Maybe if I'd still used the cheap soil and maybe enhanced it a bit with a bit of compost or some composted manure, that sort of thing. But definitely you need to have some good nutritious soil that you're going to put your plants in. It needs to be free draining as well, which the soil I've got is free draining, but as far as nutrition goes, it could have maybe had some more organic matter in it, composted manure, that sort of stuff, to give the plants more of what they need. One of the things which is going to be important as well with container growing is regular fertiliser, because even if you give them a start with nutritious soil, they're going to start using up those nutrients, and there might be some nutrients that are missing from that soil. So giving them a good fertiliser, preferably an organic fertiliser, you are growing food that you're going to eat, so something as organic as possible is the best thing to have. So an organic fertiliser will be a good thing to do, and do that regularly, once every 2 weeks, and that just should keep your plants going pretty well. Obviously, overwatering can be one of the biggest problems with potted plants. With any plants, overwatering can be probably worse than underwatering. I mean, underwatering obviously isn't good for your plants, but most of the time when you see people go, oh, I've looked after this plant, I've done everything I could to it, and then you pull the poor thing out and you see that the soil's just been clagged with water and the roots are rotted and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, keeping an eye on your plants, having a look at the soil, pull the mulch back, and that's another thing that I will mention as well, mulch, but pull the mulch back, see how the soil is. If the soil's damp and it doesn't need watering, don't water it. It's as easy as that. If you pull the mulch back and the soil's just starting to get a little bit dry, it shouldn't dry out, but it'll just be getting a little bit dry, then give it a water. So you really want to look at your soil, make sure it needs a watering before you give it a watering. And mulch. Mulch is a good thing, and it'll reduce the amount that you have to water if you mulch it. Obviously, an organic mulch will give it extra organic matter, but it'll also keep the moisture in the soil and prevent as much evaporation. So that's obviously a good thing to do. So they're just a few tips to help you along with your own container gardening. And yeah, we'll see how things go. Obviously, I mean, I'm going to be picking some lettuce and the tomatoes and the beans. Like I said, I'll pick them probably tonight. I'll pick them and take them to work tomorrow for lunch. So that should be a nice, tasty, nutritious lunch for me at work tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for this week. And until next time, happy productive gardening. Bye.